Welcome back, everyone, to Meditations by Gregory T. Obert, and today I have a really special episode for you. I'm your host, Dr. Gregory T. Obert. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have any of you ever felt stuck? Have you wished for some kind of personalized support to help you move forward? Now, for those of you that have known me since 2016, which is when I started this podcast, you know me as the guy that makes guided meditations for you every other week. You know me as the guy that changed his title to Dr. Gregory T. Obert a few years back. You may not know much about me beyond that, and today I want to share with you more of who I am and what this special project is that I have for you. Now, I've been working in mental health for a very long time. Really, the start of that I count as 2010. And since 2010, I've been in the mental health sphere, and I've been working with a lot of clients around a lot of different issues. So being a therapist of 15 years, being someone who loves to record these podcast episodes, I'm someone who really enjoys video games as well. I'm someone that cares about other people's well-being, whether it's through meditation, helping your own inner state, whether it's through entertainment, such as my YouTube channel, my book, The Man on the Bench, or whether it's through professional health care, through mental health. I want to introduce you to what I do and my new business venture that you can take part in. So, why did I start in mental health to begin with? Well, I'm somebody that lived a pretty quiet childhood until I was a teenager, at which point my parents ended up getting divorced. And it was around that time that I was feeling pretty lost and pretty stuck myself. And if it wasn't for the wonderful support and guidance of a therapist I knew at that time, I don't know where I'd be. But I looked up to her quite a bit, and I really was able to come out of a pretty dark place thanks to her help. And it's always been my desire to give back, not just to her, but also to other people. So if they find themselves in tough, difficult situations, I can help them out and help them through just as I was helped myself. Because I see so many people struggling in the world, I decided to devote my career to helping. And let me tell you, it is a long process to get to be a psychotherapist. After 4 years of undergrad, I then decided to do a master's program to become a master's level clinician. Unfortunately, you then need 2 extra years to become an independent practitioner. And because you're not an independent practitioner in those 2 years, you end up having to take a lot of tough jobs. And these tough jobs often pay very poorly. After I graduated from my first graduate program, I ended up taking a job in community mental health where I worked with the most severe mental illness that you can have while living out in the community. And while it was rewarding to see some people really turn their lives around, it was also very, very difficult work. And in fact, it paid very, very poorly. To give you an idea, it was about $34,000 a year before taxes. And let me tell you, living in the city of Chicago on that was extremely difficult to do, even back in 2014, 2015 standards. So I decided, after a little bit of a break from mental health, to go back and upgrade my credentials. Because unfortunately, since I didn't have those 2 years, I wasn't able to become an independent practitioner the way that I wanted. So I decided to go back and upgrade my credentials, and I did that. So I went into graduate school for the second and final time. Definitely don't want to have to go through that again. And after 6 long years I walked away with a second master's degree and a PhD in clinical psychology, hence why I call myself Dr. Greg. Now, over the course of all this training, I was able to learn a lot about different orientations within psychology. And by orientations, I mean theoretical orientations. You can think about this as a psychotherapist's approach to how they do therapy. Are they more in line with someone like Freud? Are they more in line with someone like Beck? Maybe those names don't mean a whole lot to you, but they mean a lot to people in the field because it changes how you go about doing your practice. And I was fortunate enough to have training in two very different, yet also, I think, very related ways of doing psychotherapy. The first is called client-centered therapy. The second is called cognitive behavioral therapy. That's kind of one of the bigger buzzwords today, and most people probably know the basics about it, most therapists, and there are certainly some therapists that practice it quite well. I'm someone that has had a lot of training in that, and I'm able to practice it properly. I take both of these approaches, client-centered therapy and cognitive behavioral therapy, and I blend them. And essentially what this looks like is this. I view you as the expert on you, because I haven't walked a single second in your shoes. I don't know what your life is like on the day-to-day. And I view me as the expert on psychology. And so when we meet, we put our heads together and we figure out ways to help you live a better life. That might be through looking at your thought patterns. That might be through processing any emotions that come up for you. That might be tweaking behaviors in your life. But if you're a client of mine, we look at all three of these things and we tweak them to help you live a better life. Now, what makes my psychotherapy unique? I just told you. It's being able to blend that client-centered approach with that cognitive behavioral approach. Now, you may have people out there that tell you, oh yeah, I know what client-centered therapy is. Many of them have not had extensive training in that particular theoretical orientation. And so when I approach any issue with a client, one of the things that I often hear is, wow, you're actually listening to me. And not only are you listening to me, but you're helping me work through this issue. We have tangible, action-oriented tasks that you give me to do. And that's exactly what I want. I want you to feel listened to. I want you to feel like we're progressing towards whatever goals you want to work on while you're working with me. Because I want to respect your time, energy, effort, and of course your money. Because you're paying for health care and you deserve to get the best. Now, I tend to do my psychotherapy virtually. A lot changed after 2020 with the COVID-19 pandemic. And it turns out that while there are certainly some people that do enjoy coming into the office, a lot of people prefer virtual because those virtual appointments are just a lot more convenient. And I can reach a lot more people that way, people that I wouldn't normally be able to reach because of the limitations of geography. And thanks to the magic of the internet, I'm able to work with people who I know I can help. When I think about my typical client, I'm thinking about somebody who is really struggling with their mood. Maybe it's depression, maybe it's anxiety, maybe they're not sure, maybe it's anger, hurt. I work with people who are going through some sort of transition in their lives, because we all go through some kind of transition, and a lot of times that can be tough, especially when those transitions can come suddenly. I work with people who are struggling with their communication skills, who are wanting to better regulate their emotions. I also work with people who, shocker, want to improve their mindfulness skills, which, hey, that's a huge part of meditation, and that's something that I really enjoy working on with people. Additionally, I have extensive training in veterans issues and anyone who's gone through trauma. I've been trained in a number of gold standard PTSD treatments, and I've helped a number of people overcome the pain and the suffering that PTSD and trauma can cause them. All of these services that I offer help my clients overcome whatever is going on with them, whether it's figuring out their stress, setting better boundaries, working on being more assertive with their communication, processing those tough emotions related to depression, anxiety, those transitions, and of course, overcoming those symptoms around PTSD to give people the relief that they're looking for and that they deserve. Now, I help people through a number of outlets. Of course, I have online courses, which I've mentioned before on this podcast. The link is in the description for that mindfulness course that I have on my locals, which is $10 a month, helps support this show, as well as giving you, access to this really great course on how to be more mindful. More specifically with psychotherapy, though, I offer individual sessions as well as group sessions. And I do these virtually online. And the benefits of engaging in psychotherapy, especially with me, these sessions give you the tools to take your life back, to feel confident, to clear your mind, and to give you the peace that you are so looking for. Now, over the years, I have offered my services through other places, whether it's been an institution, an organization, or of course, someone else's private practice. Today, though, I'm letting you all know first, all of the people who've listened to this show over the years and who have continued to support me, I'm letting you all know that it's time for me to chart a different path. And that path is my own private practice. Welcome to the Royal Oasis Psychotherapy Institute. For years, I have thought about opening a private practice of my own to run an organization the way that I want to run it. Of course, I have my ideas on what can be useful, what can be helpful, but ultimately, I've never been the person holding the keys to the kingdom at the end of the day. And I decided after more than 15 years of experience in mental health, as well as my doctorate, as well as becoming a full-fledged psychologist, I decided it's time, after all the training that I mentioned to you before, all the skills that I have, to chart a new course for myself. I feel confident doing this now because I've been fortunate enough to have a ton of success stories over the years. I, of course, can't talk about anyone specifically. I can talk in generalities, though. I had one client go from staying at home and being anxious about even just talking to other people to going out there, making new friends, and just being able to set wonderful emotional boundaries with other people. I had someone who was struggling with grief from the loss of a family member come in and talk to me, work through those emotions, even though they didn't really want to work through those emotions. They took the time, they put the work in, and by the end of just a few sessions, I'm talking 4 or 5 sessions, if it was even that, they started to feel so much better. They were able to work through that grief and really just take life on in a different way than they were before. I've worked with people who've struggled with breakups, who just don't really know what to do after their relationship ends. We work through those emotions, I give them tasks to do, and of course it takes time to mourn the loss of those things, of those relationships. Yet, with all the work I do with them, they're back on their feet, ready to find love again. I've worked with someone who was struggling significantly with anxiety and perfectionism. And wow, what a difference he has in his life after working with me. I've worked with a number of veterans, whether they were combat veterans or just veterans in general, who experienced some kind of trauma in their lifetimes. Come in, do the difficult work that is trauma work, and leave feeling better. They were able to take charge of their lives, take their power back, and rather than have their trauma run their lives, they ran their lives. And that trauma became nothing more than a distant memory. I, of course, could go on and on, but I hope you get the idea. The people that work with me see amazing changes in their lives when they put the work in. And I know that the people who come and approach me, they are ready to put that work in. So I decided it's time for me to do my own thing so that I can start finding those people and working with them in the ways that I want to work with them. By the time this episode goes live, my website will be up and running. You will see in the description below, it's Royal Oasis PI for Psychotherapy Institute, royaloasispi.com. You can head there and see all of the different services that I offer. And let me tell you, it is easier than ever to get started. Once you go to that website, at the bottom of every page, there is a contact form. All you have to do is fill out that form, and that message gets sent straight to me in an email. And I am happy to talk with you about setting up time to meet for an intake. The reason I like to do intakes is because I want to get to know you. I want to get to know your life, what you're dealing with, and it helps me figure out if I'm the guy to help you. The reason I say that is because I don't want to work with you if I don't think I can give you the help that you need. Because it's important to me to respect your time and your money. Now, if for some reason we can't work together, I'll let you know that after the intake. I'll say, this is who I think you need to work with instead. I will send you to the right people. If I think that I can help you, I will get you on my caseload and we will start working together ASAP. Whatever the goals are that you want to work on, we will start doing that together. It's been my life goal to help people help themselves. And I'm here to help you empower yourself and to find that healthy life that you so desire. That peace, that purpose that you are looking for. If this podcast isn't enough for you, if you are looking for more than just an episode once every other week of guided meditation, this is your sign. Take a look at my website. This is your sign. Take a look at the services that I offer. This is your sign to fill out that contact form and reach out, because help is out there. And if you've benefited from my show over the years, then I am confident we have a very high likelihood that we will work well together when it comes to psychotherapy. You don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to live a life that is subpar. I'm here to help you. Right? And small steps with the right support can really change everything. I've seen that in the clients I've worked with over the years. It doesn't have to be all at once. Progress, not perfection. And even having someone to talk to once a week can really change everything. So if you are ready to take your life back, again, take a look at my website. Go to my website now, royaloasispi.com. Take a look at the services that I offer. Fill out that contact form. Everything that you need to know, all your questions that you probably have, they are all on the website and you can go check it out right now. Now, to let you know up front, because this is a brand new business venture for me, spots are going to be limited on my caseload to start. There will come a time where I'll be able to scale up and take on more people. For now, though, I'm limiting my caseload. So, if you want to be one of the people on the ground floor, be one of the first to receive services from an expert psychologist who's been working in the field for more than 15 years, go to royaloasispi.com now, fill out that contact information, and I'll get back to you just as soon as I can so we can set up a time to meet. Now, keep in mind that on that contact form, there is a list of states and territories that I am able to virtually provide telehealth, psychotherapy for. If your state is not on that list, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do about that. However, right now, I believe there are 40 states with more being added each year. So, odds are you're going to be in one of those places where I'm going to be able to help you out. Head on over there, check it out, fill out the form. I'm happy to get started with you. Last disclaimer that I have, of course, I am not an emergency service. So if you are someone who is struggling, you're in crisis, you need help immediately, please stop listening to this, go to your nearest emergency room, or call a crisis line. The easiest one to call is a suicide crisis line, which is 988. And if you're a veteran, dial 988 and then press 1, which is specifically for veterans. There's a reason why I end each of my podcast episodes with be safe, be well, and be powerful. While I'm confident that you can do those things on your own, sometimes we all, myself included, need a little bit of help from other people. And it's my hope for those that need that extra help, I can give that to you. So again, thank you for listening to this episode. I hope that you learned a little bit more about me. And again, I'm so excited to be launching this business, and I hope that you will join me. Again, royaloasispi.com. Head on over there, and I hope to see you soon on my caseload so that we can work on getting you that healthier life. Welcome to your new life. Welcome to the Royal Oasis. Thank you all so much for listening, and until next time, be safe, be well, be powerful.